Attorney Jonathan Elson, reminding you that if you've been injured in an auto accident, it's important to have somebody on your side. When you need a lawyer,
then you need Nelson.
In continuing our coverage of the Cathedral Canyon murder trial last Thursday, the prosecution team called up their next witness, NCSO Sergeant Jason Yelle, who stated he was a patrol sergeant back on August 1st of 2021 and was working the graveyard shift. Sergeant Yelle responded to the 911 dispatch and drove to Cathedral Canyon, where he met with what the 911 dispatcher testified as the frantic man who had witnessed Roy Jaggers' dead body and the people responsible for his death. According to Sergeant Yelle's testimony, he said the frantic man was all over the place and that he was trying to calm him down to get information. Eventually, Sergeant Yelle asked the frantic man to show him the body that he had previously discovered. They both walked to the edge of the canyon and looked down at Roy Jaggers' dead body. Sergeant Yelle then walked down the canyon towards Jaggers' body to secure the scene until other NCSO officers arrived on location.
When you arrived at Cathedral Canyon, did you encounter anybody?
I did. I encountered a male, a shirtless male, I remember.
And when you encountered him, were you aware at the point that he was the person who called 911?
I was not. There's no way for us to know who calls 911. Our dispatch comes from the dispatch center themselves. So they told us there would be a male on scene. I had never been to Cathedral Canyon before. So that the male that's standing there, I have to assume is probably the caller, but there's no way I can confirm that just upon arrival.
And so did you eventually confirm who that person was?
Yes.
And how did you do that?
Through a series of quick questions. His mannerisms matched the mannerisms that dispatch was kind of describing as being frantic, panicked. He was very frantic, very panicked, all over the place. You could tell something was definitely wrong. He yelled. He was saying, "There's a body over here." I remember him saying, "Come over here," and I was trying to bring him down at the moment because I had a second officer coming before I could put things together, and he just could not contain himself to give me concise information until I got close enough to actually physically say, "Okay, where is the body?" Because he kept yelling, "There's a body, there's a body over here," and then he went on saying, he kept going very random thoughts of we were going to arrest him and we were going to, he was all over the place.
So at some point did you investigate whether or not there was a body?
Immediately after he said the body's right over here, and I said, "Well, take me to it." He did. He walked me right to the edge of the canyon where you could look down and clearly see a body.
Prosecution questions Sergeant Jason Yelle about the body of Roy Jaggers and asks him to identify Jaggers through various exhibits that were also shown to jurors.
So after you went down and you observed the body, what did you do next?
At that moment, he was obviously deceased, so I declared deceased, and at that moment, immediately go to crime scene preservation. So that's what I did. I had a second deputy there with me, Deputy Wilkeski. I ordered him to stay with the male that was on scene, and I was down there and I gave distance from the body, and then just completely kept the scene untouched until administration and detectives could arrive.
Tomorrow, News 25 will bring you more witness testimony, as well as our coverage of today's murder trial.